Greetings, fellow test subjects. Test subject 1337 here for Aperture Gaming. They make it, we test it, you play it. Now, normally this being a video game-based web series, today we have gotten the chance to review a book. Now, this being the internet and all, we decided to review a book that everyone would know and love, based on a series that everyone knows and loves. I'm, of course, referring to the recently released Adventure Time Encyclopedia, written by Lord Evil himself. Now, for those of you who have been living under a rock for the last couple of years and have no idea what this is, Adventure Time is an animated series on Cartoon Network. It's a parody of the Adventure series, like stuff you'd see in Final Fantasy or Dungeons and Dragons. You know, it parodies like guy goes around with a sword, fights demons, goes through dungeon, save princess, blah blah blah. You know, that typical shtick. Yeah, but the series is really popular. It has gotten a following, and in fact, the creators of the show have actually launched a series here on YouTube called Bravest Warriors. It's the exact same. It's the same people, so the artwork is very similar, and the humor is also just as weird as the show. But I digress. On to the book review. The book review is great. It's written from the perspective of Marceline's father. He gives a overall opinion about some of the main characters in the show. He talks at length about Jake, Finn, Princess Bubblegum, Princess Lumpy Space Princess for some reason, Lady Unicorn, his daughter Marceline, and of course the Ice King. Now it also goes on to mention some of the minor characters in the show, like characters you maybe see like maybe once or twice. Like he talks about Cinnabon, some of the other princesses. There's even a special entry about Gunther, and if you've watched the show, you know what his thoughts are about Gunther. It's pretty funny. And I have to say, I liked this book. It was a really great book. Now, it's not exactly the thickest book in creation, and it's not exactly the most mind-boggling, but it is really great based on the show. It doesn't talk about like who the voice actor is or who the animators are. No, this is a book just supposed to be for fun, like taking place inside the actual Adventure Time universe. Now, since it was written by Marceline's dad, there are notes in there from Finn, Jake, and Marceline herself, like where they'll say, hey, you shouldn't insult this person, or, yeah, this information is true, or, this person smells weird. And for those of you who are in the know, oh yeah, here's what. This book, it's great, it ties in with the show, and if you haven't seen the show or read the book, it's going to be hard for me to talk about it without there being spoilers, so this is just kind of an iffy thing. If you're not into the show yet, you might want to check it out. Yeah, sorry about that. Alright, so let's see, Alright, so like I said, it talks about Gunther, it talks about the major characters, the minor characters. It has like an instructional manual for BMO, and at some point there's actually like 4 or 5 pages in there dedicated to the Ice King's weird fan fiction with Cake the cat and Fiona the human, and Marshall Lee and Prince Bubblegum and Lord Monochromonicorn. Yeah, the Ice King is weak. Yeah, it's really great. Like, it actually has... it has screen still shots from the show. Like, it actually has pictures from the show. But it also features some pretty cool original artwork depicting some of the characters. Yeah, so the artwork is great, and it does offer, Lord Evil's perspective on everything. So it's not... So it's not 100% unbiased, so... you gotta take it with a grain of salt. There are 3 things that I really like. The artwork being one of them. Secondly, there's a map of the land of Oo. So it kind of gives you an idea of where everything is taking place, though the scale is not exactly... the scale is of question of how big everything is, or small, or whatever. And, yeah, so speaking of... yeah, so the book is great, but there's a few drawbacks to it. Since the show is ongoing, this book was published, but the show is ongoing, so it can only get the information right up to a certain point. So, as long as the series keeps going, I think we are going to get a second and possibly a third volume of this encyclopedia. Hopefully with more updated information as time goes on. Maybe written from a different perspective, somebody else like Finn, Jake, Marceline, or anyone, or just like a encyclopedia in general. Yeah, and secondly, since it is a book and not the internet or the Adventure Time Wikipedia, like I said, it can only have a finite amount of information on specific details. Next, even though it's talked about Flame Princess and Finn's interaction with her, it doesn't give any real detailed description about her. There's plenty for Princess Bubblegum, there's plenty for LSP, for some reason. And it even talks a little bit about some of the other princesses in the land, but not that much detail for Flame Princess. Go figure. Let's see. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll get more information in the second book, because it's weird. It talks about the Ice King, and it talks about Marceline. And this is one of the really big... Now the whole series has been pretty much a gigantic goof, but for these two characters, there's been some very serious and kind of depressing stuff. I won't go into detail because I do not want to spoil this, but for those of you who have paid attention to the series, you know what I'm talking about. And yet, it's not mentioned in the book. Since it is from Marceline's dad's perspective, there is that blank area of time right there. And Marceline does make some notes in defense of the Ice King. But as for information regarding their interaction with each other in the past, there is virtually no information. And that's kind of a subject that needs to be addressed. I'm hoping at some point the Ice King will be redeemed or saved or helped or, I don't know, cured. I do not know. But I think, yeah, as a fan of the show, I have to say I feel sorry for the Ice King. And... like I said, there's no information between him and Marceline in the book, so that needs to be updated and fixed in the next volume or so. So like I said, it's a great book, but it has limited information as the series has gone on. So, given its current condition, we here at Aperture Labs give the Adventure Time Encyclopedia a solid 9 out of 10. So if you have about $20, and if you know of a great bookseller somewhere in your immediate area, go and pick this book up. If you're a fan of the TV show, you will love this. It'll be a nice little thing to read along with. It's not exactly watch the show, read along, blah, 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 but it's really good. It's fun to get from the characters of the show's take on everything in the world. So yeah, you'll enjoy the original artwork, you'll like learning some information about some of the other characters, and... well, there's some secrets in the book that I can't divulge at this time because that'd be spoiler heavy, so... I hope you enjoy this review, and I hope you enjoy the book. Until next time, this has been Test Subject 1337. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I also hope you enjoyed the book. Have a nice day.